So I'll join in chanting the name of the Lord for a few minutes. Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda
Radhe Govinda
Radhe 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 Govinda सब गाइए
Radhe 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 Govinda
Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda
Radhe 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 Govinda
Radhe 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 Govinda
Radhe 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 Govinda
Radhe 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 Govinda
Radhe Radhe Govinda
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha Om Shri Gurudevaya Namaha Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaധ്യായിനി Amba Tvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishal Buddhe Pullarvindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharatataina Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetra Kapane Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Hari Om Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Ante Kathayishyami Devya Hyatma Vibhutaya.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Pradhanyata na kurveta Asyanto vistarasya me.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Ahamatma Gurayesha Sarvabhutashayasnaha.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Anamadishcha madhyam cha bhutanamantayeva cha.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai. Okay, so thank you Pandit for the wonderful welcome and all, Pandit Vijayji and all the members of this mandir. Thank you for having me here tonight. We are now in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We started in January and tonight might be number 59, I think. Huh? Night number 59. And we have reached chapter 10. So last night when we left it in Nonpareil, we saw these two verses which I chanted today. And I'll tell you what exactly Bhagavan is doing in this 10th chapter. 10th chapter is called as Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti means where the opulence and greatness and glories and grandeur and all such things of Bhagavan is given in the 10th chapter. Usually we look at this world from a very, very superficial standpoint. We just see it in terms of, in modern language what they say, we see it in dollars and cents. For us, even time is money now. You hear people say that? It's all dollars and cents. The moment we see something like that, at a very, very superficial level, we start thinking about its worth and its value and how much we'll have to pay to get it and this and that and all that sort of thing, right? So, Bhagavan is, in this chapter, reminding us to look a little bit deeper to see His glory, His greatness, to see His magnificence, to see His opulence right beneath all the things that we are seeing in this world, because we have a habit of looking only at the superficial level. He's trying to make us look at a deeper level, and until a human being does this, he lives a superficial life. And the superficial life is where, I look here on the screen when the projector projects the movie, right? All the names and forms on the screen, they go through all sorts of things. Sometimes they are crying, sometimes they are laughing, sometimes they are dancing, sometimes they are weeping. But the light which has gone there, and that light is unaffected. Light remains unaffected all the time. The characters which make up the light, those characters go through this thing and that thing. The characters which are made up by the light. In the very same way, this whole universe, in this 10th chapter, Bhagavan said, the whole universe has sprung from me. Matta eva se evai sarvait te. Sarva eva te. Means, from me only, you and all things have come. He is telling. In the 7th chapter, he also said. So all things in this universe have spread from Bhagavan only. Whatever we are seeing, but we don't see Bhagavan in it. It very much like when you go to a store and you see nice clothes. We see the style, the pattern, the color, the embroidery, the buttons, all the flashy things that they put on it, and we forget that it is nothing but cotton. We forget the cotton, the cloth which is behind, and we see all the other things. Well, so we forget Bhagavan, who is right behind this world. So he's trying to remind us. So he tells Arjuna, Hantate Kateshyami, I'm going to tell you now, Divya Yatma Vibhutaya, all my great glories in this world. Wherever you look, you're supposed to see me, but you usually don't. Prathanya Kurushrestha. Oh Kurushrestha, Arjuna. Another name for Arjuna. Shrestha means greatest among the Kurus. Na asti antaha vistarasya rasya. Vistarasya me means there is no end to my glories. There is no end to literally speaking, not figuratively. There is no end to the manifestation of Paramatma. This universe stretches out infinitely, and science comes up with all sorts of foolish things, and after 10 years they change it and they come and tell something else. Right now they are disputing Big Bang theory. There are many scientists who are saying it is all foolish thing, no Big Bang and all. But for years everybody is believing there was a Big Bang and this and that. Somebody gave them a Big Bang on their head, now they wake up a little bit. But anyway, the universe goes on infinitely, there is no end to it. And so since the universe goes on infinitely and it is all the play of Paramatma, Bhagavan's glories have no end. Like that. Aham Atma, I am the Atma in this body, and I am the Atma in all bodies. O Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Shayastitaha, and I am there in the hearts of all beings. Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. He'll tell this all the way down in the 18th chapter also. Same teaching. He has to repeat because we are dull-headed, all of us. So Bhagavan has to say the same thing. Again he'll be telling that later down. I am there in the heart of all beings. Aham adishya madhyanchana cha bhutaramanta evacha. I am the beginning, middle and end of all beings, all things in this universe. Actually, what that is saying is what the scriptures tell everywhere. Siya Ram mein sab jag jani, karau pranam jori jog pani.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Siya Ram mein sab jag jani,
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
karau pranam jori jog pani.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai. And this comes in the beginning of Tulsidas Ji's Ramayana. Tulsidas Ji says that I see Ram in everything. There is nothing else but Ram. And so I put my hands together, and I do salutations to Bhagavan Ram, who is there pervading everything. Well, this is the vision Bhagavan wants us to have in this 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That I am beginning, middle and end of all things. All beings means I am all beings. Beginning, middle and end, I am all beings really. And now he continues, number 21 we have to see from today. That was yesterday, that was where we reached. Now see now. In the whole chapter he'll be doing the same thing, demonstrating his glories in this world. See. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
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 Adityanamaham Vishnu, Jyotishnam Praviram Shumam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Marichirmarutamasmi, Nakshatramaham Shashi.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki. Adityanamaham Vishnu. Among the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Now, Adityas and all, I don't expect you to know. It is said that the great Kashyap had two wives. The great Kashyap Rishi had two wives. One name was Aditi and the other name was Diti. And it is from this Diti and Aditi were born all the Devatas from Aditi and all the Asuras from Diti, like this. So, all the Aditya, but all those who are born from Aditi, they are called as Adityas. And one of them, you may not know, one of them was this Vaman avatar. Vaman Dev. Vaman, you heard? Little dwarf avatar who crossed over the whole universe in one footstep, in 2 footstep. Right. So that Vaman avatar was born to this Aditi. Here he is called as Vishnu. He is one of the Aditis. So he's among all Aditi's children, I am Vishnu, who is Vaman. In other words, the best, the most illustrious. Now, why Bhagavan is choosing most illustrious? And just now you say from him everything has come. So the other Adityas come from where? From Bhagavan only. No, it is like this, I'll tell you. I'm sure all of you would have done in your life. Now I'm coming, Pandit was telling me I'm coming from Bobis. So one Amma there, the moment I came there, she went and she brought guava from her tree. Right? Nice guava. So when she went to pick the guava, right? And I'm sure when you also go to pick any fruit, you look for the best, nice, rosy one or not. If you're going to eat a fruit from a tree, you always look for the best one. Even though all the fruits come from the same tree, but when you're selecting the... when you go to buy in Starbrook market, and there's a heap of fruits there, will you go and buy the worst one or what? We take up the best one. So among all the things in the world, even though all have come from Paramatma, from Bhagavan, he is picking out the best, because the human beings, our eyes are naturally trained for the best. We don't have to make effort. When you go to buy shoes, if you go to buy this in the store and you find one little hole there, you'll buy it? No. we'll look for another one with no hole. So our eyes are like that. So Bhagavan is choosing out all the best. Now among all the Adityas, this Vaman avatar, he was the best among all of them, sons of Aditi. So Adityanamaham Vishnu. Here his name is Vishnu. Jyotisham Raviram Shuman. Among all the luminous bodies in the world which we know in our solar system, right? Among all the luminous, now the sun is, the moon is luminous. Luminous means doesn't have its own light, but we see the moon bright, we see stars bright. When you go there to the stadium, you see all the stadium light bright. But among all the luminous things, I am the sun. Can you have anything more luminous than the sun in our solar system? Not possible. I am that sun. See, no matter how many lights we light, look how many lights are lighting here, right? This whole village has light. The whole village we're coming now has light everywhere. But still we could not send away the darkness. Just outside the village, dark. But one Surya Bhagwan rises in the morning, one only. And every iota of darkness scampers away, not to be seen, you see. That's Ravi, Bhagwan says. He's given name here, Ravi. Son Surya Bhagwan has many names. One is called Ravi. So, I am that son. Marichir Marutamasmi. Among the Marutas, they were sons of Diti, the next wife. 49 of them were there. And one of them, the greatest among them was Marichi. Great Marichi. So I am that Marichi. Nakshatra Amaham Shashi. And among all the nakshatras, we worship different planets and all. So I am that Shashi, that moon. Moon is now they are finding out many things about the moon. Moon, they say it affects our mind. It affects the tides. I know we have an ashram in Trinidad, way in the forest. When we go to that ashram, certain time, period of the moon, we have more fallen trees on the path. We have to come out with our chainsaw and everything and cut trees. The moon affects trees, affects the oceans, affects so many things. Actually, more and more they are finding out now. Bhagavan said that moon, among all the nakshatras, Shashi, I am that moon. Shashi is a name for moon. Okay. So all the best things, because our eyes are trained for the best, without forgetting that Bhagavan is actually everything. That we should not forget. But anytime you see greatness, because when we see greatness, we are in awe. Na? So that greatness should remind us of the glory of Paramatma, of Bhagavan. That is the idea. He continues now, number 22, see that. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Samvedosmi. Bhagavan says among the Vedas, I am Samveda. Now, whatever he is choosing, you see, the trend here in these verses, he is choosing out the best among the group. Like you go and choose out the best fruit and the best vegetable and the best shoes and best whatever you do. Even though all the shoes come from the same factory. So now, he says among the Vedas, I am Samaveda. So why Samaveda is considered to be best? Well, it is one of those Samaveda, which can be sung very nicely. They sing the Samas. It's very popular because, look here. Why Ramcharitmanas is more popular than Bhagavad Gita? Why Tulsi Ramayana is more popular than Valmiki Ramayana? You know that, right? Why classical music, Hindustani classical music is less popular than chutney? Look here, I tell you, if we start singing classical music here, sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa, like that, and that fellow next door starts chutney over there, where people will go? Chutney only. Because music and rhythm has something to do with the finer recesses of the human heart. And if the person has not studied music at its deep level, whichever superficial type of music, it will appeal to him very fast. But the general idea is that, have you heard, let me just give you a little demonstration. All of you have gone through this in school. Look here. The teacher used to teach. Say, my boy, say, A for apple, B for bat, C for cat, D for dog. They used to teach like that. But that thing used to take a long time to learn, and especially when your head hard like mine. It takes a long time. Now, you know, when they start, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. You heard? Why they came up with a song? Because music and song and rhythm and all that help us to learn very fast. And the heart takes to it very fast. Like that. So Samaveda has become very popular over the millennia, because Samaveda among the four Vedas is one of those Vedas which you can set to music, or which can be sung rhythmically like that. So Samaveda has become popular because of that thing. Whereas that is how Tulsi Ramayana has become popular and not Valmiki Ramayana, because you can't sing Valmiki Ramayana in all of these tunes which we sing here just now, which we sang just now. You see? So, among the Vedas, I am Samaveda. I hope you know that four Vedas are there: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. So Bhagavan says, I am the Samaveda among all of these Vedas. Then Devana must be Vasabha. Vasabha is another name for Bhagavan Indra. Indra name, you know? Now let me tell you a little bit about Sanatana Dharma. First of all, in Sanatana Dharma, we don't believe that this is the only place where we have beings living. These are all stories that were taught to you in school, and there is only beings living here. Outside now, if you study a little bit of science, you will see in our Milky Way alone there are trillions, not millions, trillions of galaxies. And if our insignificant sun has 9 planets going around, and we are on one of those planets, it is really the height of all conceit to ever suggest even that we are the only ones in this universe. But that is what childish religion has done for a very, very long time. But the rishis have been telling, this is a Sanskrit term, Ananta Koti Brahmanda. When you're reading scriptural text and all, you will see this phrase everywhere. Ananta Koti Brahmanda means countless universes everywhere. Now, in our proximity, of course, if they are countless and it goes on infinitely, we have to always be talking about our proximity. Like, for example, you live in a big country, you know. This country is so big. In Trinidad, I have walked from one end of the island to the other end of the island, right? Because that's real small. But when I see Guyana, bapre. I feel if I start walking now, I'll reach at the end of my life. So big. Anyway, so when we see our little country, even in that little country, you always think about your little mohalla. Mohalla means your locality. Oh, I live in this area, and you know everything about that area, isn't it? And the moment you take you out and put you in Essequibo, and I don't know anything in Essequibo, you know. But you always know about your own locality and all that, what's going on, and who's selling what, and which tree is there, and which tree has, you know, cashew pear, and which tree has, you know, star apple. In my locality, I know good. When the same way, in our earth, and our 9 planets, and our sun, in our locality, there are higher worlds also. We don't have to go too far out. And one of our worlds is called as Swarga. Another one is called as Narak. And then a Gandharva Loka. And there's so many other lokas are given in Shastras, right? So, in that Swarga Loka, the king there, his name is Indra. Swarga Loka, where we go to reap the result of all of our good karmas. We go there and enjoy. And in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Swarga Loka is described very nicely. I'll tell you how. It's described like this. When you lick a nice ice cream here, right? Suppose you get the best quality ice cream. I don't know who makes the best quality ice cream here, but when you lick, and you get one lick and you say, ah ha ha ha, this ice cream is real good. The Taittiriya Upanishad describes that if you lick that same ice cream in Swarga, the joy is 10,000 times more. Some number, big number is given, you have to multiply, right? Big number. So, when a person does good karma, he goes to Swarga. And there he enjoys all the results of his good karma. And the joy is immense. And Tetam Bhuktva Swargalokam Vishalam Khine Punyamartya Lokam Vishanti. In the 9th chapter, previous chapter, it described after all the punya karma is finished in Swarga, we come back to this world of death and disease and all the other things. Like that. So it's going and coming. So we have so many various types of worlds. So that king in that world is called as Indra. That's Swarga Loka. So Bhagavan says, among all the Devatas, I am Indra. Because he is the king, he is the boss. He is the boss in Kaini language. I hope I say it right. So, Bhagavan is choosing out the best among the best. And you know, to become an Indra there, the scripture describes, you have to do so much of punya karma for so many lifetimes to become king. Like that. Indriyanam manaschasmi, bhutanam asmi chetana. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Among the indriyas, sense organs, I am the 6th sense called the mind. Manashasthani indriyani. 15th chapter this will come up. I am the 6th sense. The 6th sense is always the higher sense, you know. The mind. So among all the senses, I am the mind. Because I'll tell you, the eyes and the ears and all, they can only perform their one function. But the mind is that which synthesizes all of them. Processes. You see, so I am that mind. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Bhutanam asmi chetana. Among all beings, I am Chetana. Chetana means consciousness. Consciousness in our ordinary term, life. So now, see, what is the most important thing in my life? You see, some people say, most important thing in my life is my wife. Then the wife will say, most important thing in my life is my husband. And then both of them will say, the most important thing in my life is our children. And the children will say, most important thing in our life is our parents, or whatever. But you have to know, I can't tell what is the most important thing in your life. But here, you know, the most important thing in your life is life. Because if the life goes away from this body, Bharya bhibyati tasmin kaye. Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes in his Bhaja Govindam at one place that when the life goes away from this body, even the wife is afraid to touch that body. There's no joke thing. This is a real thing. I'll just give you an example. See, when the husband dies, right? Somebody dies. Everybody crying. Oh. People go on crying like that. Papa gone. Huh? Papa gone. And Papa is lying there in the coffin, and people talk to Papa. Oh, Papa, you live away and gone. Now who will call Papa? Like that. And people talk to the dead body. And they go also and hug up the dead body and do this and that. Papa going now and all that. That same night, after Papa is already cremated, that same night, if you sleeping on the bed and you see that Papa sleeping next to you, then you will know. That is all talk only. Papa this, Papa that, because everybody is there. Right? But Papa come back. Because you yourself went to the cremation site and you saw Papa get cremated. So now, Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes, once the life, the consciousness has stopped manifesting in that body, he said even the wife is afraid to touch that body. So the most important thing, therefore, you may say in life, the most important thing is this or that, but the most important thing is life. Because when that life has departed that body, so Bhagavan says, in all beings, I am that life. Bhutanam asmi chetana. I am that life. And without that, nothing. In English language, I have many nice phrases for those. One, dead men tell no. See, look, everybody know. Look here. Number 23. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Shankarashasmi Iddesho Yaksharashasa. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Vasunam Pavakashasmi Meru Shikhare. Rudranam Shankarashasmi. Bhagavan says among the Rudra, Bhagavan Shiva has manifested as 11 Rudras. It is at different times. 11 times as one Rudra, another Rudra, and one of that Rudra is manifest, and he is called as Shankara. Shiva, Shankar, Bhole Bhale, Bhagwan Shankar, Devadi Dev, Adi Dev, Bholenath. So many names are there for that Shiva. Huh? So he says, among all the Rudras, I am that Rudra. When he manifested, and he was called as Shankara, like that. Shiva, Shankara, like that. It means that is the one which all of us know today. Have you heard of any of the other Rudras? Nobody talk about his other manifestation. You see? We talk about Bhagwan Shiva only. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om 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 Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
महापति महादेव की जय. Rudranam Shankarashyasmi, and that Shankara, that manifestation, which was the most famous, most well known. Vittesho Yaksha Rakshasam. Now I just told you, Indra Dev lives in that Swarga. Well, he's the king. You know, like the president or the prime minister, if they're the king, he's the king there, they will always have a finance minister, you know. Finance minister. Finance doesn't mean like finance, like in the ground at work. Finance means those people who take care of the money. Paisa. So his finance minister, that fellow is called Kuber. The finance minister of Indra is called Kuber. He is a Yaksha. So, among those Yaksha and Raksha, there are two classes of also celestial beings. Among all of them, I am Vitteshaha, who is this Kuber. He is most well known. You know, like for example, in every country, on the international scene, you will have somebody who is well known in a certain period. Like for example, in many years, we used to hear that there was a man from Guyana. His name was Sridat Rampal, something like that. Huh? So when we hear the name, I was living abroad and I used to hear that name. I said, oh, that fellow is from in our area, you know, like that. You become proud of somebody who is from your place. So one person who is well known in your community or your country, like that. So among the Yaksha Raksha, in that class of beings, that most well known one is this called Kuber, because he became the finance minister for Indra. So he became very famous. So he or the chancellor of the exchequer, he is called so. He deals with all the money. So when anybody has to get any wealth for anything, Indra tells, go and check out Kuber. He is the man. He has all the money there. Right? So Bhagavan says, I am that Kuber. Not that he is not all the others, but he is pointing out the best among the Yaksha Raksha, that class of beings. Vasunam Pavakaschasmi Meru Shikarinamaham. Vasunam, the Vasus are there, and among the Vasus, one of them is Pavaka. Pavaka means fire. I am that fire among all the Vasus. 8 Vasus it is said are there. Space, air, fire, water and earth. All of those are Vasus also. And then they add some other, like some other, what do you call? Mind and intellect and all such things. So anyway, one of them is fire, Agni, like that. He's a Vasu. So I am that Agni. Now see, what is most important for all of us here on the earth? Well, for life to continue, We are warm-blooded creatures, isn't it? We are all called warm-blooded creatures. That fire tattva is very, very important for our life to continue. So he says, I am that fire for eating, for everything, for our warmth and all that. I am that fire. Meru Shikharinamaham. I am Mount Sumeru. Meru is said to be the mountain peak which is there in the center of the universe. It is said that Kakabhushundi also stays on that Meru, Mount Meru. Sometimes we identify it as Mount Kailash, but I think in Shastras they have different names. What we can also think is, when Bhagavan speaks about the Mount Meru, I am the highest point, I am the furthest reaches of the intellect. Like that you can also interpret. Huh? Alright. Now he continues. See. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Purodasam cha mukhyamam vitipata brihaspatim. I am Brihaspati among all the Purodhas. Purodhas means Pujari. Pujari, you know? Who does all the, what we call Nambudri in the south part of Bharat, and in the north we call Pujari. Or Purodhas also means Ritvik. Ritvik means in those big elaborate Vedic rituals, when they have the Havan Kund, there are people who chant mantras and make offerings into those fire. They are called as Ritviks. So that is another name, another word for that is Purodhas. So Bhagavan says, among all of those Purodhas, this is a very interesting thing. I am Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the guru of all the devatas. In Swarga, where Indra is the king there, they have their own guru. His name is Brihaspati. So he is the one who officiates and does all the offerings and all things for all the devatas. But interestingly, in the Bhagavad Puran, the Bhagavan Shri Krishna there says, the Purodhas, he is among Purodhas, he is Vasishtha. Vasishtha means the guru of Bhagavan Ram's dynasty, Dashrath Maharaj and that whole family. He is that one. So here in Bhagavad Gita, Brihaspati, there in Bhagavad Puran, so the idea is, whoever is glorious, whoever is great, whoever is magnificent, wherever you see greatness. And Vasishtha was so great, Brihaspati is so great. So wherever you see greatness and grandeur, things which boggle your mind, if you study the life of Vasishtha, you will see it will boggle your mind. Vasishtha Maharaj was so great. Actually in Ramcharitmanas, he tells a story. Listen, why Bhagavan is choosing out the great? Because the greatness always boggles the mind, you know. He tells a story where his father told him, see, Vasishtha Maharaj's father is Brahmaji. Brahmaji himself. His father told him, you know, Bhagavan Vishnu will take avatar in Raghukul, in the Raghuvansh. Bhagavan Vishnu will take avatar. And if you go in that family and you become the Purodasa. If you go in that family and become the Purodas, there you will get darshan of Bhagavan Vishnu. So Brihaspati said, hey, that is such a good thing. I will get darshan of Bhagavan Vishnu. I'll go there and take avatar and I will go there in that family and I'll become the Purodas, the Purohit, mean the Pandit. Right? But now he asked his father, when he'll come? He said he'll come there in Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga. Now he's telling him this in Satyuga. And after Satyuga, we know, you study all the time, Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and Kal Yuga. Actually, if you see the numbers, Satyuga, the next yuga is supposed to be Dwapar Yuga. Because Dwa means 2. And Treta, 3. 3 means tree in English. So it's supposed to be like this. What? Satyug, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, because the numbers working, and Kal Yuga last. Right? Vasishta Maharaj was so great that he switched the yuga because he thought, I am now in Satyug, then Dwapar Yuga, then Bhagavan will take avatar in Treta Yuga. He switched Treta Yuga to the second yuga and put the second yuga third. What the power of that Vasishta? And same with Brihaspati. Brihaspati, for who was it? Created another universe in the sky. Forget his name now. So great were these. So Bhagavan is telling, in here he's telling Brihaspati and there he's telling Vasishta, I am them. He's choosing out the greatest of the great. Senani namahas aham skandaha. Bhagavan Shiva has a son, his name is Skanda. You know that? Sometimes you call, I have many names, you may know him by some other name. Sometimes you call it Subramanya. You have heard that name? Sometimes you call it Shanmukha. Here it's called Skanda. Sometimes he's called as Kartikeya. That name, one of those names you will know. So that Kartikeya is said to be, he is the major general or the commander in chief of the celestial army. He leads in the front. He's the boss. Because he's such a great fighter. Shanmukha, he has 6 heads. So he can see everybody coming from any side. Like I have to turn. And sometimes we turn also we don't see. But he has 6 heads. He doesn't have to turn. He's looking so I see you coming. He could see you coming from. So he calls, here his name is, which he uses, Skanda. There's one Skanda Puran also, all about him. Skanda Puran. So, and you have heard now, Subramanyam, Subramanyam, Shanmukhanatha, Subramanyam, 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 Shanmukhanatha, Subramanyam, glorifying him only. So here is, that name is Skanda. So Bhagavan says, I am that Skanda. He's the leader, the great commander-in-chief of the celestial army. Sarasamasmi Sagaraha. And I am among all water bodies. Among all the great water bodies in this world, I am the ocean. Bapre. Ocean covers 75% of the earth, isn't it? The earth's surface is covered by this ocean. It's bewildering if you see the ocean really. So, I am that sagar, this ocean, which is so vast, limitless to water in that ocean. Then, next one. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
यज्ञानां जपयज्ञोऽस्मि स्थावराणां हिमालयः
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. Maharshi Nam Bhriguraham, the great Bhrigu. There are so many wonderful stories in the Puranas about Bhrigu, but the most famous story, I'm sure all of you would have heard. Bhriguji Maharaj one day decided, I will go and see who is the greatest. Brahmaji is the greatest, Lord Vishnu is the greatest, or Lord Shiva is the greatest. He wanted to test. So he went and met each one of them. But the story has it that when he finally reached to Lord Vishnu, he went to Lord Vishnu last. When he reached Lord Vishnu was sleeping. You know that Lord Vishnu reclines on that Sheshanag and he is sleeping. This is Bhagwan Vishnu and the Rishi, Bhrigu, he thought, what is this? I came to see, I am Mehman. How you say Mehman? Atithi. In Sanskrit, Atithi. I am the guest. Atithi Devo Bhava. So, I came to his house, just like when the little Nachiketa went to Yamalok, Yama was not present. But when the guest comes, the person is supposed to be there to receive the guest. So Bhrigu Rishi went there to see Bhagwan Vishnu and he's sleeping. Bhrigu got angry like anything. Bhrigu gets angry like Durvasa Muni. Some of the Munis, these fellows, they get angry and all, you know. So Bhrigu get angry. And he's sleeping. Bhrigu walked up to him and lifted his foot and gave one kick on his chest. It is said up till now, Bhagwan has that footprint of Bhrigu Rishi on his chest. The Bhagavad Puran tells. Up till now he has that footprint on his chest. He kept it as a mark from the Rishi. But you know what Bhagwan did? Oh sage, you kicked me on my chest with that soft tender foot of yours? On my chest so hard, that foot must be paining you. Come. He grabbed his foot and he started rubbing and massaging. Poor foot, it must be paining. And Bhagwan massaged his foot like anything of that Rishi. Actually in that thing, great, see, Bhagwan is Bhagwan, that is why he is Maryada Purushottam, you know. He is the Lord after all. And that type of compassion and that type of free mind and absence of kama, krodha, lobha, ityadi, all things, no anger, nothing. He even massaged Rishi's foot. So he said Bhrigu Rishi, he that time proclaimed that Bhagwan Vishnu is the best. Because Bhagwan Shiva also will get angry and he will burn that Kamadev, burn him to ashes and all. Ramayana, you see, na? Burn him to ashes. But he kicked him on his chest also and he massaged his foot. So he told that time, you have to be the best only. Maharshi Nam Bhriguraham, Bhagwan is saying, I am that Bhrigu among all rishis. Giramasmekam aksharam, and among all the words and syllables in this universe, Gira, among all words and syllables in the sounds, I am Om. Om is the sound that contains every possible sound. You may not know because in the West we talk a language, all of us talk English, right? Some form of it. And it's not a scientific language, it's just crazy words thrown everywhere which you can't explain why and wherefore or not. We never know. So, like for example, you will have DEAR is there, and DEER is there, and DARE is there. Oh dear. This is a very complex thing, isn't it? So Sita saw the day and told her day, Ram. So she saw DEER and told DEAR. That day is there to me. Please go there and bring that day. So the day left to catch the day. And that cost her dearly. But in English, so many days there. But that doesn't happen in this language. The Sanskrit language is 100% scientific language. Now I'll tell you, all the letters start like this. The first letters start at the bottom of the throat, and the last letters in the Sanskrit alphabet, they end on the lip. So there are different letters for different parts of the whole vocal system ending on the lip. So I'll tell you like that. Like now, see. Ka, the first line. Ka starts down here. Ka, ka. Ka. And the last line there, where you have the consonants there, that starts with pa, pa, ba, bha, ma. All of them is with the lips. You can't say pa or ba or ma without closing your lips. Try. Say ma without closing your lips. You have to close your lips. Ma. That whole last line, all of them with the lips closed. So that's the line where the last line of consonants ends on the lip. And the whole first line, ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, all of them start at the bottom of the throat. And then the rest all in between. And this om starts with that also, is down here. And u is in the middle, and ma the last, u, ma on the lips. The whole vocal system is captured in that one om. And therefore all letters, all akshara, and Bhagavan said, I am that one akshara om. Because in the om alone, every akshara, every letter is there. The letter of letters. Om iti eka aksharam brahma we had seen previously, and we'll see again. In the 16th chapter, Bhagavan again talks about his Om. Again and again, over and over, he talks about his Om. I am that Om. Yajnanam japa yajnosmi. Jap in Sanskrit means to repeat. To repeat. And you know that in school they make you repeat it. That's why you have to say the alphabet over and over. Over and over. Over and over. And if we don't repeat, we'll never get it. So here, Bhagavan said, among all the yajnas, you know how many yajnas we do? There is Gyan Yajna, there is, what we call that? This fire worship yajna. There is Bhagavad Yajna, Gita Yajna, Ramayana Yajna, all sorts of yajna people do, isn't it? Bhagavan is telling, among all yajnas, I am Japa Yajna. Japa means chanting the name of the Lord. You take some mala or something and go on repeating over and over. Yajnanam japa yajnosmi sthavaranam himalaya. This japa is very important thing. And when we do, please see this. All very, very scientific things. Don't miss a beat. The mala is kept here. So the mala is being turned by the fingers. This is body. The speech is saying Ram, and the fingers are tolling the beats. So the body is involved, the speech is involved, and now the mind has to connect this action and this action to a form of Ram. You can only do that with the mind. The body can toll the beats, the speech can say Ram, but only the mind can connect both of them to a form called as Ram. So all the faculties are body, speech and mind, Kaya Vangmana it is called in Sanskrit. All three are engaged in this thing called japa. So that when we sit down to chant the name of Paramatma, chant the name of Bhagavan, whichever name you chant, that time our mind and our body and our speech all should be synchronized. Not to, you're chanting Ram, 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 Ram. Or somebody open a Pepsi bottle, clock. Your mind gone from Ram to the Pepsi. That is not japa. So to Sumiran Nahi, Kabir Sahib has written at one place. Mala to kar mein phire. In the hand the mala is going on. Jeeb, in the tongue, Ram, Ram, Ram. But Manova chahu disi phire. Once this is a real story I'll tell you. Once I was staying in an ashram in Vrindavan. So there was another brahmachari in the room. We were sharing a room. A stranger, I don't know this fellow. I just met him. So I came in the room and I saw him with a mala and he was doing like this. This real thing. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. And he was tolling his beads and all. So I thought, very good. So when I walked in, I saw him. He opened one eye. His eyes were closed, but when I walked, he opened one eye just to check to see who walked in, what. And then he went back. Now see the mind? Gone. He's saying Om Namah Shivaya and the beads are going, but the mind? Gone. So, just for fun, just to see how far this will go, I went to the market. I went back out. This is a real story. And in hot Vrindavan, this is way back in the 90s, mid-90s, and on those days, they used to sell, in the summertime, they sell a little kakri. You know what a kakri? What do you call kakri here? That little moss melon. Moss melon, I don't know what you call it. Huh? You have a name for it here? What is the other name for that? Honeydew. What is that honeydew thing? Cantaloupe, right. So they have a species of that, but in the summertime when the place is hot, that thing becomes very sweet. And it's about that size. So I went to the market and I bought 2. And I came back. So he's sitting here and he's Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Like, I went in the kitchen and I cut some slice. And I put it in a plate. And I come here and I put it arm's length from where he was sitting. Arm's length, right here. So I'm looking now. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. At one point, take up a piece of Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. That thing is not called japa. See, japa is required. When Bhagavan is talking about it, I mean, the 3 faculties, 3 parts of the personality have to be synchronized 100%. That thing is called as japa. And that is the greatest yajna. That is better than any yajna you could ever do. Bhagavan says, I am that yajna. Yajnanam japa yajnosmi. This is a very famous line. Very, very famous line. Yajnanam japa yajnosmi sthavadanam Himalayaha. Among all the mountain ranges in this world, I am Himalaya. Himalaya. Man, I don't know, those of you who had the opportunity or the fortune to travel to Himalaya, oh, something in this world to see, I tell you. Bhagavan said, I am that Himalaya. Huh? Then, one more we'll do. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Ashvatha Sarva Vrikshanam Devarshinam Chaturdaha.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai. Ashvatthah sarva vrikshanam devarshinam cha naradaha. 26. Ashwatha is the peepal tree, peepal tree. So among vrikshanam, among all trees, I am the peepal tree. There is no tree which is worshipped more than this tree in the whole world, I tell you. Everywhere in all temple sites across the whole world, I've seen this peepal tree grown in so many places in this world and worshipped also. So among all these trees, and I do not know if you have had the opportunity to sit down under a peepal tree. If you just sit there quietly for a few minutes, you will realize that the vibration under a peepal tree is most divine vibration. So therefore, if you see in our temples, I'm not sure in Guyana, is there? Yeah, right. So this tradition is there from very long time. Peepal tree. You see? So among all these trees, I am that peepal tree. Ashwatha sarva vrikshanam devarshinam cha naradaha. And among all the deva rishis, I am Narada. I am Narada. Now see, Narada is Narada or Bhagwan is Narada? Bhagwan is everything. That is the idea. So I am that Narada among all the rishis of the devas. So now the devas who live, Indra Lok and Swarga, I was telling you, and he's a king and a different lok, and that's not the only loka, and there's so many lokas. So now he will have everything there, just like we have rishis here on the earth, they will have rishis there also. Just like we have a treasurer, he has a treasurer there. So like that, the rishi there of that devas is Narad. He is the mind-born son of Brahmaji, Manasa Putra of Brahmaji. Brahmaji just thought, I'll have a son by mind only, and Narada was born. Mind-born son of Brahmaji. So he goes from place to place. This Narada, I'm sure all of you would have seen him in the movies. Narayan, he goes around like that. And then Gandharvanam Chitratha. Gandharvas, now I'll tell you. I was telling you just now, so many lokas are there. So there's one loka where all the people who are great musicians and kalakars, they are very good. It is said that they are extremely good looking, and they all know music and the arts and dance and all, the arts, what you call kala. So they live in that place called Gandharva Lok, another world. And among them, one of the greatest musician known amongst them, just like how I was telling you, in every country we will always say some great person. So among them, Chitra Ratha was very famous. Bhagwan said, I am the Chitra Ratha, the greatest of all musicians in that Gandharva Lok. Then Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi, and among all the fully established Munis, those who are abiding in Paramatma, in Brahman, who have really gone through the whole process and established themselves in Paramatma, in Brahma, he was Kapila Muni. And Bhagavan said, I am that Kapila Muni. Like that. That is called as Nishtha in Sanskrit. Today we are talking about that in the car. You see, if I know that my nature is Sat Chit Ananda, right? That knowledge is nothing, and no knowledge is the same. We hear it all the time. We chant it also. I am sure all of you would have chanted it. See. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham
Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham
Mano Buddhya Hankar Chittaninaham Nacha Shrotra Jihve Nacha Ghrana Netre Nacha Vyoma Bhumi Natejo Navayu Dananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Dananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Chit Ananda Rupa. My nature is Chit Ananda, consciousness and bliss. And we sing all the time. But having that knowledge and gaining an abidance and a nishtha, a settledness in that knowledge, they are two different things. Kapilo Muni, Kapilaha, was the one who was abiding in that knowledge all the time. Therefore, Bhagavan said, I am that Kapila Muni. He was residing in that knowledge all the time. How? Very much like this. You know, in this temple, there are men and there are women, right? So, does it ever happen by chance that I am a man, I am walking down the road, and suddenly I forget I am a man, and I am thinking, no, I am a woman? It will never happen. I am settled in a firm conviction, knowledge that I am a man. And it cannot happen that I will start thinking I am something else, or anything. I am not a man, I am a buffalo. Anybody will think. Yes, abiding in that knowledge of what you are. That is the idea. So he abides in the knowledge that I am Sat Chit Ananda. And we abide in what knowledge? I am this body. That is our knowledge. I am this body. And there is another body. And this body. And that body. And some bodies are related and some are not. Like that. We abide like that. This is called worldly knowledge. But Kapila abided in supreme knowledge. Alright. So Bhagavan is choosing like this. All the great things. That's me only. I am manifested as Kapila Muni. I am manifested as Narada. I am manifested as Vishnu. I am manifested as Himalayas. I am manifested as the great ocean. I am manifested as all the greatness you could ever think about in this universe. This is 10th chapter going on. So okay. So it is not finished. But it will have to go on in another temple. Now let me tell you some announcements and then we will have Aarti and conclude. Okay. Okay, so tomorrow's satsang, tomorrow night, because it is holy and most temples and most people are celebrating Holi, tomorrow night it is at our ashram in Manripu, 7 to 8:30. So, those of you who have the time, not everybody celebrates Holi, some people might want to come and listen to Gita also. But if you don't come and listen, we are there. I'll talk and I'll listen for myself. No problem. So those of you who want to listen to Gita and you can come to Manripu, please do come. Updated schedule will be there on Facebook. A very special thank you to our dear Pandit Vijay, even from last time and all. Pandit is always there to serve Sanatan Dharma by organizing satsang. See, just to organize a satsang, look here. Suppose Pandit doesn't organize this satsang, right? And I come here. What I'll do? I talk and listen to myself. Then all of you will not get the benefit of Bhagavad Gita. I talk and listen to myself, you will not get the benefit of Bhagavad Gita. So now, if I talk and listen to myself, how many people get benefit? Myself only. But when he organizes, then all of you get the benefit of Sanatan Dharma and Bhagavad Gita. So actually, the saints and sages say, those people who do the groundwork, one fellow, he was there by, his duty was there by the gate, right? So when people come, he had to show, Arey bhaiya, idhar chappal idhar rakh lo, put your chappal here. Aur idhar se jaiye, darwaza idhar hai. Means the door is on this side, put your chappal there. That was his duty. So now people are coming in the temple, coming, and the Mahatma is sitting here and giving. So that fellow could not come inside to listen to the Mahatma. So at the end, he asked that Mahatma, he said, Mahatma ji, all these people came and they listened to you, and my duty is outside. I have to stand by the gate way in front over there, and I cannot listen to you. I also will get blessing. Mahatma ji said, you will reach Bhagwan before all these people. Before all the people who are sitting and listening here. Because he is the man who facilitated every single one who is who is sitting there. You see, you were the facilitated. He is the facilitator. You see. So, when people are concerned for Sanatana Dharma like that, then we have the wonderful Pandit like Pandit Vijay making sure that things are running, and so many people get the benefit of it. So very special thank you, Pandit, for doing such a nice job and looking out for Sanatana Dharma so well. Alright. We have printed one of these bookmarks for everybody. Please have one on your way out. This is to mark the occasion, 108 nights Bhagavad Gita in 108 temples across Guyana. 108 nights non-stop, and from one end of the country to the other end. So this is marking the occasion. We've printed for everybody. Please have one on your way out. Okay. Now I think this other announcement might, in Burmese it was not so relevant, but very relevant here. The conclusion of this 108 nights will take place on the 3rd of May at 5 p.m. 3rd of May, 5 p.m. at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground in town, in Georgetown. 3rd of May, Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground, 5 p.m. It will be nice if you all can come. It's a Saturday. It's a Saturday evening at 5 o'clock. If you all can join, it will be a big program, grand finale of this 108 nights, okay? So even though we are traveling all the way from one end of the country to the other, we are concluding in the center only. All right. Please tell others also. We have several classes going on at the ashram in various things, camps for children and so many things happening at the ashram. If you can find out, Devji is here. He is now a resident teacher here in Guyana, posted in Guyana now from Canada. So his job is to teach at the Chinmaya Mission here. And he is qualified to teach so many things, from Sanskrit to Gita to Upanishad to Ramayana to you name it. Please speak with him and learn. Okay. One last I will tell, and that is the Vedanta course. Now please listen to this, and even if you can't join, you can tell others who might want to join. In order to do this work, Chinmaya Mission has a very in-depth, very demanding course. You have to study for 2 years. You have to stay in the ashram for 2 years, study every single day, no holidays, zero holidays, no Saturday, Sunday, Boxing Day, no holiday. Then classes start at 5:30 a.m. every single day, and last class ends at 8 p.m. So there are classes every single day, and it goes whole day or more than the day. Whatever is covered in that class in those 2 years is what is covered in a university setting in 15 years. That is how much work is covered. And you learn Sanskrit from scratch, and you learn all the scriptures and all things like that. Now, the qualification to join that course, if you qualify and you join, the ashram takes care of everything for free. You have to be 30 years and under, you have to be unmarried, and you have to have a university degree, any degree. So those people who want to join, please, who may join, please tell them, send the message out. Course starts on the 2nd of October. It takes place only in 2 places. One place in Mumbai, one is going on right now. A new one is starting in Trinidad on the 2nd of October. Okay? Alright. Please pass the message around. We have a bookstall on the outside. Please have a look. There are many wonderful titles that you can buy. This is The Art of Man Making. Bhagavad Gita for the modern mind. Bhagavad Gita. And Living Excellence. Gurudev has written so many nice books for us to read. Mahamrityunjaya Mantra. Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam, that mantra. All its explanation is here. And many titles like these for children. Nice presents you can give to children rather than giving them candy and chocolate. Books are better for them. Okay. Thank you all for having me here tonight. And if you have time, please come to Manripo tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see when I come back to town. Okay. आरती के लिए सब खड़े हो जाइए. जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरि कमल विहारी हरि कमल विहारी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद
गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरि कमल विहारिणि हरि कमल विहारिणि सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद गीते
धर्म सुधर्म प्रकाशिनी कामा शक्ति हरा
मैया कामा शक्ति हरा
ज्ञान विकाशिनी
तत्व ज्ञान विकासिनी
विद्या ब्रह्म परा
ओम जय भगवद गीते
भक्ति विहारी निर्मल मलहारी
मैया निर्मल मलहारी
चरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी
शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी
विधि सुखदायिनी
ओम जय भगवद गीते
राजवेश विदारे नारिणी मोद सदा
मैया कारिणि मोद सदा
भवभयहारिणी तारिणी
भव भयहारिणि तारिणि
परमानंद प्रदा
ओम जय भगवद गीते
आसुर भाव विनाशिनी नाशिनी कमर जनी
मैया नाशिनी तमर जनी
दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी
दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी
विरसिता सजनी
ओम जय भगवद गीते
समता त्याग सिद्धांत हरिमुख की वाणी
मैया हरि मुख की वाणी
सकल शास्त्र की स्वामी
सकल शास्त्र की स्वामी
की रानी
ओम जय भगवद गीते
दया सुधावर मातु कृपा की जय
मैया मातु कृपा की जय
हरिपद प्रेम दान कर
हरिपद प्रेम दान कर
अपनो कर भीतर
ओम जय भगवद गीते जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरि कमल विहारिणि हरि कमल विहारिणि सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद गीते
ओम जय भगवत
ओम जय भगवद गीते
मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षम मंगलाय तनो हरि
मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षम मंगलाय तनो हरि
मंगलाय तनो च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। नमः पार्वती पते। हर हर महा